Hello and welcome along to Off the Court, your regular guide to all things Vitality Netball Super League. I'm Caroline Barker alongside the more medals she has than shuffle shot options, Tamsin Greenway. It is the final countdown, Tamsin, finals weekend. Been done, dusted. How are you? Are you still limber? How was it for you? Was it a fitting finals weekend? So
many questions. How did we even get to this point? How is it the end of the 2022 season? I mean, what an incredible season for Manchester Thunder. Was it a fitting finals weekend? Yes, I think the outcomes were good in terms of the send-off for Bath, Anna Stenbridge, Kim Borgia, Rach Shaw leaving at the end of the season. They got that final win, and that was an extraordinary game. I'm sure we'll talk about that a bit later. But for Thunder, although clearly the final, wasn't what we wanted in the first few minutes with the injury to Ella Clark. The actual outcome, them getting over the line, them being undefeated, them making history, them changing the game, I think they thoroughly deserved the win.
Yep. We are going to talk more about Team Bath taking third place by beating Pulse later in the show, as you mentioned. Thunder 60, Lightning 53. And you're right, that Ella Clark injury, clearly all of us sending our love to her, but that disrupted the rhythm. And this was the story of the first quarter, really, wasn't it, that did for this game?
Yeah, of course. And you can't shy away from that. I think everybody felt it. We are a netball family at the end of the day. And when Ella went down in that nature, and it was quite apparent it was pretty serious, it shocked everybody. How Loughborough rallied together, the chat from Beth Cobden, I saw Jess Thurby tweet about that. That was so emotional. It was incredible. She's been through that. She understands that. How Emma Thacker came on and entered the game, and how the Thunder players dealt with it as well. This affects everyone, including the fans watching. So, it wasn't how we wanted it to go. And it clearly did affect in that first quarter. However, as the game went on, I think Loughborough gained that composure. They asked questions of Thunder constantly throughout that game. I think what I was most impressed about is Thunder responded. They've done that all year. Every time they've been put under pressure, every time something happened, there's been a tactical tweak here, there's been a change of personnel there, and they've gone on to take the game, and they ran out winners. And it ended up being a very good sort of classic win final, even though we didn't get that goal for goal we were hoping for.
We have, through this season, talked so much about the Thunder attack end, but you want to look at the three-court defence, the rejigging. No Shadeen van der Merwe. Again, she was in the 12, but we knew she wouldn't get on court. How did their defence respond again?
We've been raving about Thunder's attack, but it was their defence end that got them going in this grand final. Laura Malcolm picking up that first phase on a centre pass. She was tenacious on that third line. We weren't sure who was going to start in that goal defence bid with Shadeen van der Merwe unavailable. Millie Sanders got the nod, and she had the game of her life. In total, that defensive unit turned over, you're going to see Malcolm here, they turned over 10 balls. Look at that coming through on Emma Thacker. They knew they had to defend high up the court because they had to stop Mary Chollock. So just watch again at this shutdown on the centre pass, O'Hanlon and Malcolm, how quickly they go to the players, how they run hard on their shoulder to stop ball going. Keep your eye also on Kerry Almond. This is her speciality, knowing when to slide in behind, keeping Mary Chollock out, and there's Millie Sanders, one of her two intercepts. Check the celebration as well. This is a kid that's got a start in a grand final, and she did not disappoint. They put so much pressure on this Loughborough attack end, keeping them to just 8 goals in that first quarter. And it needed to happen because they lost the second half. Loughborough came back at them. This defence end had to keep working. What I also love is the composure of this end as well. Millie Sanders, Laura Malcolm, Kerry Almond constantly offering, being a backup. And this is why Thunder is so difficult to take ball off, because they're always available. They're always asking. They're always offering. The great thing is down the other end, they know you're going to reward it. Look at that long ball in from Metcalf, getting her team ahead again, rewarding these turnovers. And this was key for Thunder pushing on. Gary Neville honestly was enjoying the game. We promise. He was there in the crowd. But watch this final defensive play, that shutdown on the centre pass. We saw it time and time again. Loughborough not being able to penetrate. Watch again the slide in from Kerry Almond, and pretty much similar play. Millie Sanders coming out on the intercept, and just the speed of Sanders and Malcolm to get this ball going up the court and to get Thunder back in action. It was impressive display for a team that have scored so many more goals than any other unit this season. We expected the attack end to be firing. What we weren't sure is how this defend end was going to operate. Well, with young kids like Millie Sanders in their squad moving forward, this Thunder team is only going to get better.
Well, Kerry Almond joins us now. Kerry, first things first, how are the legs? How's the heart? How's the head more importantly?
Well, if you'd have asked me that question yesterday, the head would have been very foggy, but it's not, good night's sleep, sort everything else out. The body, who cares how the body is right now, to be honest? I've got no one on netball for a while, so.
Well, we might get to the point of when you're next playing netball, because Tamsin, I know that you've just been raving about Kerry and think, just to make you blush, this is one of the best seasons we've seen.
Yeah, well, I think, Kerry, you've had an outstanding season. Thunder have had an outstanding season. To go undefeated and to go through and win that final in the style that you did was pretty impressive. I just want to know how much fun it's been working with the youngsters, because that could have been a bit of a challenge this year. Shadeen came in and she's been outstanding when we've had it, but clearly we missed her in that final. But Millie Sanders came on, had the game of her life. We've seen Roscoe, we've seen Robot, we've seen Ezra Wilson, we've seen a whole range of youngsters. How has that helped your game, and how have you helped them progress this season?
Oh, do you know, it's been amazing, to be honest. We came in pre-season and there was me and Caroline at one end of the age group, and then the next oldest was Lois at 22. So it's been amazing to have the youngsters around us. It's kept me on my toes, that's for sure. They've all been fantastic. I've been working with Yomi sort of since last summer in club as well. So she's done a cracking job. Millie Sanders, like I said, I think that first half on Sunday, she was absolutely phenomenal, and she's shown glimpses of that through the season. She had a cracking game against Stars that first time out as well. So she's just come on leaps and bounds. And then, Millie Roscoe, December, she was a shooter, and now she's a goal defence playing in the grand final, and she's done phenomenally well, and just so proud of all of them. And then for a lot of them, it's their first full season, and for Yaz, it's her first taste of Super League netball at all. So they've done an amazing job, and they've had Shadeen coming in as well to help them out and obviously learn the goal defence role, because that's not my strength. So she's done a fantastic job with them as well, and it's just been incredible all around to work with them and see their progression through the season.
And look, talking about you, because I know there's been words put in your mouth before about retirements and this and that. So I guess future-wise, for you, is it something you want to carry on, or is it just time to have a little think about that? And just how far can this Thunder group go? Because, undefeated this year with so much young talent, can you keep this group together? Can you push on again?
I think I put my foot in it on Sunday night on Instagram. Me and Shadeen made a little agreement, and I kind of put that out there on Sunday, saying that if she comes back, I'll come back. So that word's not coming out this year, I don't think, but who knows what the summer brings. Hopefully we can keep the core of the group together. I think there's always going to be changes in squads, and I think you've got to look at the fact that we've got Ellie McCormick to come back and Amy Carter to come back, both from ACL injuries. So the team might look a little bit different next year, but hopefully we'll have the vast majority of them sticking around.
We all hope you're still there. We all hope you're still there in some capacity. It might be as a shooter, given Karen Gregg and Tracy's Neville capacity for changing ends with players. What goes through the players' minds? Like, what did Amelia Roscoe say when she was like, right, okay, we're gonna shift you, we're gonna make the change? Is that all about this team ethic that you've got?
It was literally like, we had a Christmas session, and it was like, oh, Roscoe, you're gonna go with the defence today, and she was like, okay, and that was it. No airs and grace about it. Just went, right, okay, and just got stuck right into it. And she's just got on with it. I think she's done the opposite of Eleanor, and she's just taken to it like a duck to water. So so proud of her.
Tamsin, does that tell you all you need to know about the culture at Thunder?
It does indeed. I was speaking about this the other week with Maux when she got pushed into goal defence, and selflessly she just went in there, did her job, didn't even question it, and was just as tenacious as ever. And I think you can really see that. But it also goes to show a lot about the strength and depth in Thunder. You talked about Ellie Cardwell. I remember her starting in that defence end and shifting to shooter, and we all went, what? Because that doesn't happen. But you've got to give a lot of credit to the coaching up there and how you're producing players that can play all kinds of positions. And I just want to touch on that. Tracy Nev, who we know was an attacker, has been like the defensive coach specialist for you guys this year. How has it been with her input, and how has that kind of inspired that group as well?
It was a little bit of a shock last season when Tracy was the defensive coach, but you know what? She's fantastic. We all know that she's a brilliantly creative attacking coach, but she's brought that to the defence end, and she's given us something extra to think about, and it's really given me particularly something else to focus on, because she's got so many ideas up her sleeve. And yeah, it's just been fantastic to work with her and see that side of her, because even when she was the head coach, we had defensive coach thinking Sarah Hale. So we've always had someone different, but to have her in there just giving us those extra tips and tricks that she's had from her years of playing, obviously like yourself, it's just brought something else to our games, I think.
We know that the key period's coming up over the next few days with the swapsies that's going to happen around Super League, Kerry. For you, and you said there'll be some tweaks, do you look at the core of this team then and think we can back up, we can go again next season and win it?
I don't see why not. I mean, half the team are under 25, so why not? There's a lot of good youth coming through even with this group, but then our under 21s and our under 19s as well. So I don't see why not. If we can keep the core of that team together, then who knows what's going to happen next year, but we'll certainly be there and thereabouts, that's for sure.
We see you in the Netball UK shop right now. You're picking out your trainers then for next season?
I wish. No, it's work day, unfortunately. This is my normal job. So I got half a day off yesterday. Actually, I wasn't supposed to come in yesterday, but I was bored at home. So I was like, I need to go and talk to somebody. So I came in a little bit worse for wear. But no, Debbie's, she's brilliant. So she lets me come and do little things like this when I'm actually supposed to be doing work.
Well, this is work. You can talk to us anytime, although I am now getting the impression you're only talking to us because you're bored. So thank you for that. Kerry, what a brilliant season. It's been a joy to watch you. And thank you for coming on Off the Court. Up next, we're going to talk to a mid-court maestro friend of yours, Caroline O'Hanlon. Any dirt we can dish on her?
On who, sorry?
Caroline O'Hanlon.
Oh, Caroline, the hardest working person I think I actually know. I don't know how she does it. Flies back and forth from Northern Ireland every week, and she's phenomenal. But she's got a cracking sense of humour as well. So
yeah, well, maybe she'll dish some dirt on you. We'll have to get it the other way around.
I don't want
to hear how lovely she is. Kerry, enjoy some feet up time, and we will see you next season. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Next up then, how the centre third was won. And this is Off the Court. Thank you for all your company this season. You can go back and watch previous episodes. We'd love you to do that, if only to analyse Tamsin's analysis. Right, we're looking back on Manchester Thunder's perfect season. But before we talk about another key area of the court that may have gone unnoticed, can we touch on Team Bath winning that third place playoff with a 36-32 win over Pulse? Anna Stenbridge said it, didn't she? It was a half-time score at full-time.
It was unbelievable. And actually, those kind of games, you think, when you look at the low-scoring nature of it, I mean, the first quarter was 9-7. You go, oh, it must have been a scrappy affair. It didn't actually feel like that. I've not done commentary for a while, and I was sat in there going with my oohs and ahs, which I, very rarely get me going. But the amount of intercepts, I think we saw 8 turnovers from Layla Guskoth, 11 from Fumi Fadoju, 6 from Tash Pavlin. I think there was 7 from Keeble. I've never seen anything like it. Zara Everett was incredible, keeping ball in left, right and centre. I'd love to know the turnover percentage to goal, and at some point I'll probably do that stat just to humour myself. But it was a very defensive game. We knew that. 2 of the best defensive sides in the league in terms of the amount of ball they win, both completely different styles, but it was also feisty. People hitting the deck left, right and centre. There was those 2 teams wanted to win it. I think Pulse, it's been an incredible season for them. They'll be gutted that they didn't get over the line. I think there was a lack of experience at times, especially in that attack end. The momentum shifts came with them as the game went on, but they never really took it and finished off that job. And, with someone like Layla Guskoth, who came out with player of the match, she was determined to see her team off into the line and to see Anna Stenbridge last game out, at least as a win and finishing third place. I think there was a lot to play for in that game, more than probably what I'd anticipated. Thoroughly enjoyed it, defensive heavy, but entertaining in all aspects.
Big love and other such things to Anna Stenbridge, to Kim, to Rachel Shaw, all on their last game. And I hope we see them connected. I know we'll see Anna back at some stage, but connected to netball too. They've been a real joy to watch on the court. We're going to see much more of them. Just briefly on Pulse, it wouldn't be a week on Off the Court if we didn't mention Fumi. She's done enough right now.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we, in the next couple of weeks. Look, I've said it before. I've been Fumi's number one fan club. But, you know, the reality is the coaches have to look at the bigger picture, player management, all kinds of other aspects. It's never just a straightforward. If she doesn't make this Commonwealth squad, well, we are going to see her in the dress in the future. And I think what was so pleasing to watch is you always talk about seasons, what do you get out of it? Well, the 2022 seasons has been the emergence of talent for me. We know that Joe Hart and Jiva Mentor, Serena Kirsten stepping away from the game this year, they're not going to be around forever. So we've been asking questions, haven't we, for ages about this Roses side. Who are the next crop? Who's the next one we're going to get excited about? Well, Pools have given you a whole heap of talent. So have Manchester Thunder. There are so many players out there at the moment that are exciting, that are incredible, that are going to take the Roses into the next stage. And actually, them having the opportunities on the big stage this weekend will only set them in good stead as we move forward as an international team.
Yeah, Sam Bird says they're coming back to win it next season, this London Pulse team. Right, back to Thunder beating Lightning in the grand final. And you want to talk about some of the unsung middies.
In a team full of Metcalfs, Cardwells, Umvulas and Malcolms, it's hard to sometimes think where you're going to take your place and stand out. But Caroline O'Hanlon has not been disappointing. Just keep your eye on the Northern Ireland International, how she comes and gets on ball and how she fed this circle. She ended up on 14 feeds in this game. Watch her go into the space, Cardwell spraying the ball over there and unbelievable touch on the ball into Umvula. That relationship has grown so much. How they've used Umvula, she ended up on 34 goals under the post, has been incredible. It's also, for me, Caroline O'Hanlon's timing. Look at this. She plays that ball back. Look at the space she creates. She just hangs out. She doesn't go down too soon. She waits. And when you've got someone like Metcalf on the ball who can give you this ball, it is incredible to open up the space. And then watch the jump and the touch again to Umvula. Fearless in her feeding. She kept this team ticking along. Cardwell, the only player to have put more ball into the circle than O'Hanlon in this game. This final centre pass here again just shows her composure, her experience, and how she is happy to let ball go into the circle. She knew exactly what she was doing from a tactical point of view. She knew how to play Nat Panagari, going in there later, hitting pockets, re-offering for the ball, and watch this thread. Boom, straight through to Umvula. That is trust. That is a team that have built an incredible relationship, and that is the sign of a very good player.
Well, Caroline O'Hanlon joins us now. Caroline, Tamsin's just been totally raving about you this season. Congratulations on your performance at the weekend. What did it mean to you, and what's this season meant to you?
Yeah, absolutely delighted. It was a brilliant season in so many ways, but it was a difficult season. Obviously, we had a great run of matches, but it was a roller coaster of emotions, and there were ups and downs throughout that season. So it was a great relief there on Sunday to get over the line. There was a certain element of pressure on us having gone unbeaten to make sure that we won the final. So I was just really proud of the performance, the start, everything on Sunday, and ultimately the result.
Tamsin, is that we kind of mentioned it during commentary as well. Sometimes it's just this consistency to make you blush, Caroline, but this consistency that we see from the midcourt in particular.
Yeah, exactly. And I was saying in the analysis, when you're playing around the likes of a Nat and an Ellie and a Laura Maux, it's hard to almost recognise the work of everybody else as well. And yet you have been incredible again all season. I think sometimes underrated is the wrong word, because I know we all do sort of speak about you, but it's hard to almost star in that lineup. And yet I think time and time again this season, and actually over the last few seasons, what you've been asked to do with this Thunder group when they've asked you to play different positions at wing attack, and then coming back into that middle, you've absolutely thrived for them. I want to know what it's been like playing with Nat and Ellie, because I think at the moment they're two of the best playmakers in the world on the ball, and how that's really helped your game at centre.
Yeah, I think that there's a great balance within our team, and I think that it's not just the skill levels; it's the personalities of the players. They're unassuming. They work hard, and that feeds into the group, and everybody sort of follows that lead. And I think that's the good thing about this group over the last few years, that when there has been gaps, or there's been players missing, or there's been a change of personnel, that different people have stepped into the role and just done what's needed. It's not been about, personal gains or personal performances as such. It's about just doing your job. And, the management team are very strong on that. And, we spend a lot of time doing video analysis and, just reflecting on, what our jobs were and not necessarily what the results are. So I think that's reflected in how we've performed over the last few seasons. And as you say, we're in a great position because we have so much talent in the group. We're very, very lucky to be playing alongside, players of that caliber, and it can only improve your game personally.
So picking up on that, what's next? Like, you've done everything. You've represented internationally, you've won titles, you've performed week in and week out, you've been a superstar in the Super League. What is it that motivates you? Because I hate doing this with sort of older players, but you come to the end where you get to sort of the back end of your career, and the way you're playing, you can carry on for X amount of years. But what is it that motivates you next? What are the new challenges? Does that look like that Thunder building this new squad? We've seen so much young talent. Is that looking something different? Like, what is it that's going to make you get out of bed next season and go, right, I want to do this again?
Well, I haven't thought too much about next season yet. I think at this stage we're still reflecting, but I suppose over the last few years, what I do is sort of reflect and think, am I enjoying it? Do I still think I have things that I can work on or improve on? And I suppose last year in particular, obviously having a new role and a new position, there was that challenge, and I really enjoyed that. And this year it was just a different dynamic with the new personnel that we had. So it's, if you feel that you're constantly learning and improving, then that's very satisfying in itself. And there's always that motivation to do that if you think that you still have that capacity.
I do know though that Joyce is going, so that'll be something different for next season. How big a loss is it going to be to Thunder, to the league, not to have Joyce playing in the league next season?
Yeah, look, Joyce is a phenomenal player. She's just such a brilliant athlete, and she's so unassuming. I don't even think she realizes how good she is. She's a pleasure to play with. I mean, ultimately, if we're stuck, you just chuck it in, and Joyce will catch it most times. So, to have that safety net is always good. But look, she's a massive miss to the league, and I wish her all the best. She deserves this opportunity, and I've no doubt that she'll smash it wherever she goes.
Yeah, we were saying that, Tamsin, weren't we? She just, I love that. You would have loved that, Tamsin. Just chuck it in, and she'll be there on the end of it.
Exactly.
She will thrive and continue to thrive.
That's a particularly bad ball if she doesn't catch it. Yeah.
I'm glad you're taking the blame for it, though. Oh, you didn't say from you.
No, not for me, obviously.
Juggling life, clearly, you do it more than anyone else that we know in the league, and having to travel as well. And that's got to be tough too. Will part of that come into your assessment of what happens next season, just how busy your life is around the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm very lucky. Obviously I have a busy job, but my work have been brilliant. They're always really encouraging, while they may not truly mean it, and they probably wish that I was there more. They are vocally supportive, and have facilitated me being able to travel back and forth. And that's a massive pressure. But without them, it wouldn't be possible. So yeah, I'll certainly have to consider that and have some conversations, with family and with work. Yeah, certainly.
Final word to you, Tamsin, on hopefully, oh, I shouldn't say that because you'll be at Mavericks, so I don't know necessarily whether you want Caroline O'Hanlon still in the league.
No, we definitely do still want Caroline O'Hanlon in the league. I mean, it's been a pleasure to watch this Thunder team this year, and to go undefeated. I said it's been a fitting finale. Not many teams get to make history like that, and I think it just goes to show, and I'm sure, Caroline, you'd agree, you've got a special squad there, so whatever happens, the memories of this season are going to be ones that last forever.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks very much. You've been great all year with your analysis and support.
Easy when we've got players like you. Caroline, thank you for coming on, and well done to Thunder again, dancing on and off court. We're going to take a special look at some of those moments next. Who doesn't love the Waka Waka? Who doesn't love Laura Malcolm breaking out the worm? Who doesn't love all of them having a chance at dancing? We didn't wind Kerry up about her dancing as well at the end too. That fun, the laughter we've seen from Manchester Thunder on and off court. We mentioned it before, but that's what's rode them through, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. They've been they've had such a great culture. Maybe all teams should go on a team building trip to Blackpool. The reality is this group have been a special group because they have that camaraderie. You know, the fact that someone like Shadeen van der Merwe, who wanted to come to Thunder, has not had a season she's wanted in terms of injury, but every time she stepped onto that court, she's been world class. She's also helped those youngsters on. She sat on the bench. That would have been so hard for her to do, to sit there and watch this team go to victory. And yet she was just as involved as if she played at 60 minutes of that whole final. I loved how clearly they all get on, how happy the group are, and happy groups do special things. And that's why that Thunder team went undefeated and went on to lift the trophy.
We haven't even mentioned the axe throwing, which was my personal highlight of their days out this season. It has been one of those seasons for Manchester Thunder where they have been practically perfect in every way, hence why we've had a bit of a love-in through this episode. But just sum up the rest of the season for me, Tamsin, if you can.
Yeah, well, the season's been another roller coaster from that opening weekend where Pulse showed us what they were going to perform like this season. And I think that was all a shock to everybody. This team had finally arrived, from the battles all the way through, from the big announcements, from the superstar signings, Proscovia Peace back in the league, doing what Proscovia Peace does best under that post, nailing it. I mean, it's been pretty special. We've had Captain Vitae back in. We've had star performances, coaches leaving. It's been another classic, almost too much to talk about. So many teams, so many players. It just sets us up for 2023 really nicely. And the future for netball in the UK is looking very, very strong.
Yeah, though, what would it look like with another gold medal hung around its neck? Let's not put too much pressure on them. What a summer we've got in prospect before the Netball Super League returns. If you have missed and want some more highlights from the weekend, do go to the Vitality Netball Super League Instagram. You can watch plenty of videos on there, dancing, loads more on there as well. Some great photos and images from the weekend. And a reminder, you can watch back our previous episodes on the Vitality Netball Super League YouTube channel. Thank you for all your likes, your views this season, for getting involved on the discussion using the hashtag. We've loved bringing Tamsin's analysis to you. Hopefully more of that to come. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.